intersection of creativity and technology, Haiper AI serves as our key to unlocking the mysteries of digital transformation. I'm Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and today I will teach you how to turn pictures into videos. We will be using Haiper AI, which as of when this video is made, was free to use in beta. As we venture forward, get ready to delve deep into the artistry of Haiper AI. Discover the secrets of crafting lifelike animations with text to video and animating your own images. Stick around to get tips and tricks to effective prompting that I've picked up while testing this system, so you don't have to waste time in creating the perfect scene. We've pieced together a dynamic visual symphony. Here is a quick peek at a bit of the video.
In a cyberpunk glow, she's the neon light, carving futures bright in the city's night.
Be sure to stick around until the end to see the video in its entirety. All in all, it was created for free using a series of 4-second masterpieces that unite into an AI film, 6 stories told. Let's dive together into the digital renaissance where Haiper AI melds timeless imagery with the rhythm of animation. First thing you need to do to use this tool is head over to haiper.ai, and then you'll see there's a try for free where you can go ahead and hit that, or you can just come up here to the start creating. And I don't know about you guys, but I really like to go through and take a look at what other people are doing and how they're prompting the system efficiently on videos I like. So I love that there's an Explore tab on the homepage of the site. It really helps you out. And you can also see their spotlighted videos. So if you go through, these are actually videos that you can watch that people have produced. And I like that it tells you a lot of times what the art generation system was they used if it wasn't created in here for the images. I want to really quickly go over what I've done in the last 24 hours or so that I've been using the system that I think might be helpful for you as you go in to start generating. So when you're generating videos in here, when you go to put in a prompt, you're going to see these filters come up for the style of video that you can produce. So if you don't put any of these in, it's not going to apply any of these, sort of like a filter that we would use in Leonardo or Playground when we're actually generating the art. It's going to completely change the style of the video for whatever prompt you're putting in. So I just wanted to really quickly show you what each one of these different filters produced for me when I put in different prompts so that you can see the style, so you're not wasting time having to generate a whole set on your own. So let's take a look at those really quick. Here is the old film. Here is the watercolor. Here is the cyberpunk. And then we've got arcane. Next up is Lego. Pretty self-explanatory on that one. Blur background. Then we have Ghibli. And steampunk. And lastly, we have impressionism. All right, so now that we have that base foundation of what these different filters are that we can use in here, let's go ahead and start generating some of our content that we need to go along with our song. In order to start creating our scenes, I've come up with prompts for each line of the song. So if we take a look at the lyric, each one of these lines is going to have its own 4-second image. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to generate those, and then I will come back once they have all been completed. So when you come in, you're going to put your prompt in here, and you're going to pick your filter. So whether you do it before you put the prompt in or after the prompt in, it's going to put the same thing in. So I've already put the prompt in, but I'm going to go ahead and hit old film, and you can see then that it adds the style in here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off public since I'm going to be using it in this video. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the aspect ratio. So for this particular one, I want this in 16:9, but you could also do it in the size for a reel or a story or a TikTok, or you could do it for just a social media post too, or any of the other aspect ratio options. You just want to make sure that you choose this before the video generates. So 16:9 here, and then you can choose 2 seconds or 4 seconds. I need 4 seconds for each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 4 seconds. So let's go ahead and hit create here. And you can see it queues it up for the generation. You can do multiple in queue waiting, but it will only work on one, sometimes two at a time on actually generating the video. It does take quite a while for the generation, but that's to be expected. So I'm going to go ahead and run each one of these prompts, and then we'll come back and take a look at them and piece them together to make the video to go along with our song. While we've got some of those text to video generations running, let's go ahead and talk about another way that you could put some animation onto images that you already have created. So the first thing you're going to do when you're on the home page is you can come in and you can go to animate your image and get started that way, or you can come over here to creations and that will bring you to your creation screen. From here, you have two options to upload your own images. You can come up to creation mode and that will give you the option screen, or you can come down into your prompt generation box and you see this little green menu button down here. If you go ahead and click that, you can see that it then comes up with create video with text, animate your image, repaint your video, or extend your video coming soon. I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping to see 8 to 12 seconds of video generation through this system. That would be absolutely amazing. But right now, let's take a look at animate your image. So all you have to do for this is take your already generated image or your picture or whatever it is you're putting animation on. So I'm going to go ahead and do some work with this time traveler right here that we need to put in the video. I'm going to put motion on all 6 of our time travelers so that they can all be included in the video that we're going to have produced at the end here. I'm going to go ahead and put my prompt in, and you can see this is a longer prompt. You might be wondering why I'm using such a long prompt. Well, that will be answered in the next section of this video, where I will show you the difference between using simple prompts and more expanded, elaborate prompts and the difference in the two images that you would get generated through here. So let's go ahead, and I want to make this one not created in public since I'm going to be using it for this. And then I want to change it to a 4-second duration. And you can see then that my image is in there, my prompt is in there, and all I have to do is hit create here. Okay, let's take a look real quick at the video that generated for us. Not bad, very subtle movement. I like the blinking of the eyes, looks good. No serious warping or anything like that as far as that would hinder the quality of being able to use it. So now as I generate our other time travelers with some motion on them, let's talk real quickly about the prompting correctly in here and simple prompts versus expanded prompts. So let's go ahead and jump into my creations real quick. And you can see here, I actually did the upload an image on this one to see how it would be different. And I used the exact same image for the short prompt and the long prompt. And you can see here that the first prompt I used was the woman is walking towards the camera. Short and sweet prompt. Let's see what that produced for us. Okay, so you can see that is very bizarre. I don't think that that would be usable unless I was making some sort of a weird horror type film, maybe. So let's see then with the same image what a longer, more detailed prompt got me here when I generated. So you can see same image. This time I expanded the prompt a little bit and put Animate the elegant woman in steampunk attire with subtle but sharp movements bringing her to life. Let her clockwork inspired brooch and shoulder gears exhibit a smooth, rhythmic rotation. Have her poised gaze subtly track a passing element indicative of her time-traveling vigilance. The delicate ruffles of her blouse should flutter with a realistic interaction with the air, and the background gears and clock face can have a synchronized, slow, methodical rotation to add depth to the scene. So you can see a lot more detail, a lot more actually telling the system what the image looks like and exactly where I want the motion on here, versus just she's walking towards the camera. So let's take a look and see how that video did. So very, very subtle movement, but it did put some animation on it. You can see a little bit of the fluttering of her hair, things like that, almost like she's getting ready to take a step. Not really as much motion as I would have wanted on it, but definitely a more usable image with motion on it there than that first one. Another example of that, I did it with another one of our time travelers, and you can see I used the same prompt for this one on the simple prompt. The woman is walking towards the camera, short and sweet, and you can see here what that produced. It made it where she's trying to raise her arms. I don't know if that's like supposed to be that she's stepping back from the camera and I just took the instruction wrong, but definitely a lot of like render quality and morphing of the body and that sort of stuff in that movement. So not a great animation there, but let's go down and see what happens when I expanded that prompt and changed it to add lifelike motion to the image of the woman in the Victorian-inspired attire. Capture the gentle rustle of her silk sleeves and the soft sway of her intricate gown as the breeze is passing through the scene. Let the ambient light flicker slightly, reflecting off her ornate jewelry. Animate her eyes with a subtle glint of knowledge and curiosity about the eras she's seen. And have her hair move with realistic fluidity that matches the motion of her dress. The background should have a slow, rhythmic pulse, hinting at a steady flow of time within the gears and the clockwork behind her. So again, a lot more descriptive words, a lot more verbs and adjectives being used in that prompt. So let's see what that gave us. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. That's a good head tilt back. I wish that the color didn't lose its vibrancy and kind of fade to that weird cartoonish looking look. But all in all, I mean, that put motion on the background and on her. Very cool. Something I would compare trying to do these bigger prompts with would be if you're over in Runway and you're using the multiple motion brushes where you can pick an area and move just those. I think that's pretty comparable to what we're seeing here in this. But again, this right now is in beta, so it is free to use to come on here and play with it. So far, I haven't been limited on my generations, how many I can do or anything like that. So that's been great for testing and playing around with this different stuff so I can bring you guys this information. Speaking of bringing you guys some information on the features in here, let's take a look really quick at how you could do the repainting of an image and the regeneration. We'll just use the example that we used for the expanded prompt here. If we come in and we hit this regenerate button at the top, you can choose whether to regenerate your video using the same prompt or you can change the prompt on it. So let's just go ahead and regenerate using the same prompt here. While that one is generating using the same prompt and just recreating the image, let's go ahead and change the prompt a little bit too. So if you hit the button in the center here, you'll see it comes up with the very prompt. And all we have to do is go in and change the prompt, the words that you want to change, however, will fit how you want the animation to be instead of how it was generated the first time. So we'll change gentle to subtle. And we'll add the word light in front of breeze. And instead of fluidity, we'll say flow. And we'll generate that. While those two versions are regenerating, let's go ahead and come back up to the image and take a look at the repaint feature. So this brush here, if we hit that, you can see that the same prompt box comes up, but this time it has a button that says Vary Region. So if I wanted to change a feature of this particular video that I've already worked on, let's say I want to change her sleeve color from white to black, I can come in and I can hit this Vary Region here, and then you'll see that there's a masking button that says Add Mask with this plus sign. All we have to do is go ahead and hit that and choose the areas that we want to change the color. So you can see that that blue line around there means that we have chosen both of those arm sleeves. And then we're just going to put a prompt in down here that says, change the color of the sleeves on her dress to black. And then we're going to make sure that this is on the private creation mode and that it has the right seed number image in there. And then I'm going to hit create. And we can see that that first regeneration that we did, where we just used the same prompt and regenerated the video, has completed. So let's take a look at that. So if we compare that to the first version of this, there was a little bit less of the loss of color between the two images when I did the regeneration. And there was definitely more movement on her arms in the regeneration for it being the same prompt. So you can see that doing the images over and over again until you get the finished product really can take some time in the system. But with it being free to use right now, this is a great time to go in and practice your prompting and see what's going to work in the system so that you can get the finished product that you need out of it. Okay, so that second regeneration is complete now, where we just changed a couple of those words very slightly in the original prompt. So let's go ahead and give that one a look. Interesting. So that one really changed the video up. It's almost like she's bowing her head in the image, which is very different than the original image. So great example there of how just doing the regeneration on that one video gave me 3 different animations of the same character that are usable in a longer story that I could put her in. And we can see here that the change to her dress sleeve color is almost done. So we'll take a look at that. And then while that's processing, let me show you one more trick that I did learn in here that has been pretty helpful. So I got stuck on a couple of images not coming out the way I wanted them to. So what I did with the animate your own image is I actually went ahead and just did the animate your image, uploaded the image that I wanted, left the prompt box blank, chose my time duration, and then hit create. I did this a couple of times when I was really stuck on getting a good end product out of the image generation, just because it seemed like when I did it, it actually would show me things that it was putting on the motion that I hadn't thought to put in the prompt. So we'll let that generate, and let's take a look at where it changed her sleeves to black. So you can see that that did not do a great job there. You can still see through to the white a lot, but it is a newer feature on the repaint in here. So let's give it another shot and see if we can do a little bit better than that. So that second repaint is done, where we asked it to change her sleeves to black. And you can see that it actually just went ahead and took the sleeves all the way away from the dress. and then did like a brown smudge. So that is probably not the way to go with the repaint if you're trying to do something like that. But in the future, I have no doubt that that tool will be very useful as it starts to follow the instruction a little bit better. And now the one where I didn't put a prompt in and just gave it the image to see what animation it would put on it is finished. So let's take a look at that. So without a lot of direction given to it, or actually any direction given to it, it sort of just did a pan out of the camera and put a little bit of motion on the movement of the camera versus moving her eyes or her body in any way. But it did do a nice job of filling in where her arms would be without losing render quality. So I am happy with that. So good little tip there. If you're ever stuck, just give it the image and let it run with its own imagination. And it is coming out really well in the system right now. So now let's take a look at how you can download these videos and share them and use them in places that you want to. The first thing that is worth noting is any video that you download from Haiper AI is going to have the watermark on it. It is a free system. That's just part of what's going to happen with this. I'm sure that in the future, when they have paid-based subscriptions, that watermark will be removable, I would assume, but we'll see what happens in the future. So if you want to use this, you have two options. You can hit the share button and you can share the video to either X or Facebook, or you can copy a link and share that if you wanted to share it on a website or somewhere else online where a link is accessible. Or you can hit the download button here, and super simple. All you do is hit that button and it will download directly to wherever you have your download set to save on your computer. And now here's the debut of our song with complete animation video from Suno AI and Haiper AI, entitled 6 Stories Told.
Victorian lace and whispers of steam. She's a sepia dream leading the time stream. Art Deco queen roaring in style. Her laughter's a melody that echoes for miles. Time's travelers weaving destiny's thread. Walking through history, we where legends tread. Renaissance flair with the painter's soul. She colors the centuries with a strolling scroll. In a cyberpunk glow, she's the neon light, carving futures bright in the city's night. Time's travelers weaving destiny's thread. Walking through history, we where legends tread. Gothic whispers in cathedral shadows. Her secrets are kept where the stained glass glows. Through a steampunk lens, years and time entwine. She's the clockwork's heart in a world divine. 6 stories told as the ages unfold. In every line, their journeys bold. Travelers weaving destiny's thread. Walking through history, we where legends tread.
And that wraps up our exploration of Haiper AI in action. Before you go, I have a thought-provoking question for you. How do you see this type of advanced AI technology affecting creators and industries in the future? Drop your insights and predictions in the comments below. We're eager to hear your perspectives. Also, don't forget to check out the curated playlist in the description. It's packed with helpful videos on image creation, animation, and lip syncing that can enhance your project. If you want to stay updated with cutting-edge AI insight, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to The Real AI Agent. I'm Jessica from The Real AI Agents, and as always, keep looking towards the future.